Craig, audit bids, insurance committee meeting report. Rhonda?
Oh,
Got
no,
your name on
the Councilman Gallagher's doing that report.
Well, we'd rather have you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We had several things going on within the health, right, Judy? The health insurance. Staff recommended that we have to take each one of these and we have to vote on each one of them. Staff recommends renewing the health insurance with Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina this year. We had an increase. The proposed annual increase was $11,207.28. So I'd like to make that in the form of a motion.
Is there a motion? I mean, there is a motion. Is there a second? Okay. Questions, discussion? All in favor? Okay. Blue Cross, go ahead.
Number 2, the stop-loss coverage for health insurance. Staff recommended renewing the contract for the stop-loss coverage with Gerber SA Benefit Services. The committee voted on it. It was 2-zip. And the renewal reflects no change in premiums. I make this in the form of a motion.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, please.
The HSA, the health savings account. Staff recommends contributing $550 into the health savings account of each eligible employee and retiree who participates in the city's health insurance program in July 2014. Employees not eligible for federally designated HSA would get the same dollar amount. An additional $200 can be added if the employee meets the standards of the City Wellness Incentive Program. I make this in a form of motion.
Is there a second? Okay, discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Stipend. We want to change that word from stipend to in payment in lieu of health insurance coverage for employees. Staff recommends the eligible employees and retirees that waive the health insurance program offered by the city receive payment in lieu of $1,000 in fiscal year 15. Staff recommends the payment be broken into 2 payments, one $500 paid in July 2014 and the second payment going out January 2015. I make this in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, discussion? All in favor? All right.
Delta Dental. Staff recommends renewing the self-funded dental plan and continue utilizing Delta Dental of North Carolina as plan administrator. We recommend keeping both the city and employees funded at the same level as we currently have. The current rate is $2.87 per policy. There's a 4.18% increase. It goes from 2.8 cents per policy per month, and the proposed rate is going to be 2.99. I make that in a form of motion.
There is motion. Is there a second?
Discussion, sir.
Yes, sir.
Judy, you may have an answer to this. If not, you can get back to me after we vote. Are we able to go further out than 2 years and have any type, would that be financially more attractive to us to do so? What is your position on that? And if you don't, I'm just wondering about that, if we can't go out further, because I've been involved with this plan for many, many years.
Yes, sir. We can extend the contract for a period of time. We did not get proposals that way. We could go back and ask them. For the sake of going over benefits, it would probably be beneficial to do it 2 years this time and then look at a longer contract the next time.
I would like to have information on that, and I think the rest of the council would as well, because sometimes the longer periods with a stable corporation can save you some money, like real dollars.
Certainly, we'll be happy to look at that.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Great vote. Yeah, we have.
Do you want to? Yeah, we're going to get new
No,
information.
we're going
We'll
to
table this?
approve because we have all the stuff that's right here now, but she's going to, as we move forward, she's going to collect that information because the proposals, correct me if I'm wrong, Judy, the proposals were only for 2 years, correct? That's all we could really vote on lawfully, I believe.
Okay, I make it in form of a motion that we, staff recommended the increase and go from there for Delta Dental. Is that for 2 years?
All in favor?
Okay.
Okay.
Number 6, employee health care / health fair. The staff recommends awarding the contract of the employee health care clinic, including services needed at the health fair, to Carolina's healthcare system. The current cost is $178,000. I make that in the form of a motion.
Second to the motion.
Second.
Second here.
Discussion? All in favor? All right, sir.
EAP, Employee Assistance Program. Staff recommends renewing the contract for Employee Assistance Program with McLaughlin Young. The current premium is based on utilization. They anticipate the cost to be $16,500. I make that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? All right, sir.
Life insurance. Staff recommends renewing the contract for life insurance with Assurant Life Benefit through Employee Benefit Advisors. It equates approximately $221,225 per year. I make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay. Number 9.
is supplemental insurance. Staff recommends renewing the contract for supplemental insurance with Pierce Group Benefits. Make that in the form of a motion. There's no change in premiums.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay.
All right, number 10. This has to do with the city's vendor use of the facilities. They have changed the verbiage in here let's see. Hold on.
Special event.
Yeah, special events. It came to staff's attention that the current policy on insurance requirements for vendors does not address the issues of nonprofit organizations that utilize city facilities. Currently, there have been verbal understandings that nonprofit organizations or individuals who utilize the city are not required to provide proof of insurance unless they are expecting 1,000 or more participants, or the event will involve serving alcohol. The revision to the written policy will reflect how the city has actually been handling the insurance requirements for nonprofit organizations and individuals. It's actually going to be in writing instead of by verbal. I make that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay. That's about it, huh?
That is, oh,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Question. We had asked the staff to come up with a number of what the bottom line insurance costs the city. And Judy, do you have that number?
I think it came
Can
out
you-
to like
can you-
$7,000
Right, it was
per person.
We're thinking it was about 7.8 million, slightly less than 8 million.
Yeah, but we were trying to break it down per person.
Right.
I think it came out to like 7,000, maybe 300 or so.
It has to be around that because we actually had to calculate, took some of the numbers back out, but in the end, it was pretty close to that. And we can
mean-
certainly update that.
I don't have the paper with me. I have it at
right.
home.
Well, I mean, and that was something that we had talked about in the budget session about the salary and the benefits, okay? When you take the salary and the benefits, then we felt like that this was a very strong benefit insurance package. This doesn't include 401K and some of the other things. But just the insurance part came up to about $7,000 per employee, if I remember correctly.
That is correct,
Okay.
yeah.
And we just felt like that was a very strong package, because they won't find that in the private sector. Okay. So, this was a lot of discussion about the insurance that we provide for our employees. Just kind of information.
And I did have that number, 7,336 per person.
7,336, right, per person, per employee.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. That was all.
Oh, that is it. Yeah, I'm finished. Yeah, we did. Did we approve that?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Jenny, did we approve the last?
To ask the question.
Yeah. Great, okay. Item 7, you're through with your report?
Yes.
Item 7 is the citizen committee appointments needed for 2014-2015, and it says the presentation by the mayor and the council members. Please go over to Exhibit 7-1. And I can tell you, well, first of all, if you go take these individually, and by and far, the large majority are wanting to serve again. And we could certainly act on that to begin with, or as we get to it, however you want to take it. But this has been coming up. It's time to dance. So,
Mayor?
yes.
I'd like to entertain to put 2 people on the ABC board. I'd like it to be Michael Dean, who spoke earlier today, and also Melvin Burris as nominating people.
Mr. Burris is on it, and this would be a
Reappointment.
Re-up of Melvin Burris. And Dean would take the position currently held by Mr. Moses.
Yes, sir.
Michael Deans and
Melvin
Melvin
Burris.
Burris. Okay. Is that a 3-year term?
says so.
Yes.
A 3-year,
I
okay.
wouldn't have known otherwise. This 3
Is
years.
Tom Novant no longer going to be serving? He
I
no longer
second
wants
that
to serve?
motion. Excuse me.
Tom, yeah, he's going to be stepping, he would be replaced by Michael Dean.
But is he stepping down, or does he want to remain on it?
Somebody calls on me. I'll
Um,
go ahead.
Well, is it there? You've got a second, right?
No.
Yeah, I
Well,
second
she
his
just said I
motion.
second.
Put Michael
I
Dean
don't know how you.
Yeah, I second his motion.
Okay. Mr. Kemp?
Yes, I did get something from Mr. Beck dated yesterday, I reviewed it today, that Mr. Novance will not be seeking reappointment. I would also tell the body that I have several persons are interested in that position. I did not know it was going to be coming available. Candidly, I did not request those folks to come this evening, nor to distribute any resumes or anything like that. So in that vein, I'd like to put this off until our next meeting to see if we could entertain those other folks.
I think so.
Haven't we
Chuck
put it off
Rogers
last
said
meeting,
to
2 weeks?
Hmm?
Councilman Gallagher, if
Chuck
you look at the
Rayford
date on Larry
was-
Beck's
he's
memo
a
to me about Mr. Novance, it was dated yesterday.
Right, I understand.
At that point, he was still serving.
What I'm saying is, we already put it off 2 weeks, these appointments.
They don't expire
Our
until
last
June
meeting.
30th, sir.
And I would like to have a vote on this. I call
Okay,
the question.
well, I have one also. Well, Can we nominate them and vote on them?
Says what?
Can we have nominations and then vote on each individual?
You
Instead
mean
of just-
individually? Well, that's what, he has.
He's making an
given-
appointment to do two, but I know that Chuck Lyford is interested in serving. He's former assistant chief for the city police. He's now an attorney in town, and he's expressed an interest in serving too.
Okay, there is a, let's see if I'm correct on this. There is a motion on the floor and a second to appoint Michael Dean and Melvin Burris for these two positions, of which, of course, Melvin is a reappointment to his same seat
Yeah.
for another 3 years. And this is 3 years. I'm going strictly by what it says. The terms expire 6/30, but these are 3-year terms. And this is the motion that we're voting on, and you called now the question, right? Okay. So we're going to vote on these two together.
We're gonna vote to call the question.
Yeah, we can do that. Is there a motion to call the question? I mean, is there a second? It's late.
Second.
Second, okay. Discussion.
There's no discussion on this, there's no discussion on the motion to call the question, so now you
Well, that's the
vote.
best news I've heard.
So now you vote on calling the question.
Let's vote on calling the
Point,
question.
point of.
Except for a point of order.
And that would be, is there discussion allowed after this vote before the vote is taken?
There's not. That is the point of calling the question. There's going to be no discussion on the next motion, which is the two people who are nominated by Mr. Gallagher.
All right.
All in favor of calling the question? 1, 2, 3. All opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're back open again now. Discussion.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I really think that when there's several people that may be interested in these positions, that it's only fair to the council that they're made fully aware of who these individuals are, their backgrounds, their interests, whatever. Now that's good government. Why we would, railroad through a decision as qualified as these individuals maybe who've been nominated. I don't, but I don't know who else is interested. So that, leaves a void in my mind as to who else to consider. And out of deference to our council persons who have other people that they have some interest in, why wouldn't we postpone this for a couple weeks and get the, appropriate documentation and allow these other people at least to speak, Some people already have their minds made up, I understand, but, maybe not all of us do, and that, it's respectful, and I think it's appropriate, and it's good procedure. And I would hope that everyone would consider that for any of these nominations, because they're important.
I agree.
Just one comment.
Yes, sir.
I have to support Councilman Curlin's comments and just say, I don't see any harm in postponing these a little bit, but I think we do need to set a definite date and say, at this council meeting on this date, bar none, we're voting. If your person's not in by this time, we're being televised right now. It's getting out to the masses. The last meeting we weren't televised, so we're televised now. It's getting out to the masses. If you're interested in the position, contact one of the council members. And on this date, we're voting.
Right.
It's done.
Right.
That way we give everybody a chance, like Councilman Curlin said. I do think it's important that we get their information in front of us. I don't feel comfortable voting for or against somebody that I don't even know who they are. So if we could set a date, I'm good with that.
Well, let me just respond to that, if I may, by saying May the 6th, we had this in our agenda. And we pretty much talked about it then, that we needed to go ahead and staff, of course, would like to have it too. Mr. Burris is a reappointment. We know who he is. He's a fireman. He's a great guy. I'm sure does a good job. I'm sure would like to serve again. I haven't talked to him about it, but he's been there, and also Michael Dean. There you got the resume there, but he served so many years on there, as others have done. And Tom Novus he's been serving forever, and he's great. I would like to get some of these voted in instead of coming back with the who's playing. I don't agree with Dr. Curlin on that. This
Well, Mr. Mayor.
good old boy type thing, playing favorites. I mean, I'd like to get the job done.
Mr. Mayor.
But you interrupted me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But go ahead.
I apologize. No, go
I'm
ahead.
getting ticked in. Go ahead.
I didn't intentionally mean to interrupt you.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd like, at least Chuck Lyford and several others expressed an interest in being on
Why didn't you tell us that May 6th?
Well,
Why didn't you tell us that tonight?
let me tell you why I didn't, because I talked to the representative of ABC, and we've already told him that Chuck Lyford was interested, and he usually presents who's interested, and I would have brought that up. I did bring it up when I finally realized it. Chuck Lyford is the former assistant chief,
Oh, I know
And
him
he's an
extremely
attorney.
well.
very qualified. Mr. Dean's been on there 20 years. That's long enough. We don't need to put people back on spending forever and ever and ever and ever. We need to give new blood, new people, and you said something about new blood one day on the electricity board. Give new people a chance to serve. And this guy, and Chuck Lyford, for instance, when Larry Beck came to work, Chuck Lyford, as a regular police officer, was the ABC representative there. It probably wouldn't be a better qualified person than Chuck Lyford to serve. And I'd like to have an opportunity to have a resume for him and let you have an opportunity to consider him. I'm just not going to vote for somebody. I think we ought to restrict it to 2 or 3 year terms, 2 3-year terms, or 3 3-year terms, and that's it. And that you can't come back. But it's just
Well, I started in '71. When did you start?
start what?
Politics, holding office. How many
long.
offices have you held?
1978. But the people.
But that's more than 20 years.
But the
That's a long
people,
time
but
for
the
it. You
people,
need to
but the
step back.
people elected me. And this is a small group.
And they elect us to pick these people, all of them.
Yeah, but I'd appreciate if we could wait on at least that one and let these others. And we go ahead with the rest of them if you want to.
I have a question. Yes. Mr. Dean has served on the ABC board for 20 years, according to his resume. He's been off a year, so it's not concurrent with him, but he's familiar with it, one. And two, he brings a wealth of knowledge. There are certain people on that board who've called me and told me that they like to have him on there because when they go to do something, he gives them perspective about the history of what has transpired within the plan that they want to put forth and go through with. Similar to what Ed Munn does with us a lot of times. I've only been on the council for 2 years, but I enjoy his advice when he starts telling me the history of certain things and how things can work out and how things fit in. And I think he'd be a fine candidate to put on there in place of Tom Novak. Melvin Burris has been on there, and he's a fireman that's in town, and he's done a fine job from what I could tell from speaking to some of the people within the board itself. And I'm just saying that by speaking to the board members, those are the two people that they had mentioned to me, and that's why I'm bringing them forth. And the appointment is from the city council. It's not from just the ABC representative, from what I understand.
Let's vote down that.
Mr. Kimball.
2 weeks to do that.
Again, let me reiterate that I believe that you're presumptuous in some of what you're saying. Again, let me go back to the date of this. You apparently did not understand that Mr. Novance, according to this officially, I did not get notified that he was not considering reappointment until yesterday. This is dated Monday, the 19th.
Well, should you have looked into that? For the past 2 weeks. May 6th is when we had, tabled.
I was, number one, I was out of town. Number two,
Right, but
I
you've been in
requested,
town.
don't interrupt me. Number two, I requested from Mr. Beck that he contact Mr. Novance to get an answer to that. He has served many years, and I am not going to just preclude, well, he's not going to serve, he is going to serve. He may have needed some time to decide. I don't know. But I know that I made the request, and this is when I got it. It was yesterday.
Well, does that report not say that he doesn't want to serve?
The report, I will read it, so into the record. Tom Novance, whose term on the Gastonia ABC board will expire June 30th, 2014, has elected not to seek reappointment.
End of that. How about Ms. Craig?
I was not aware either. I second the motion and I stand behind that, but I was not aware that some of these other people were interested, okay? And like the mayor says, we've been working on this since May the 6th, okay? So it would have been nice if some of these people that were interested had been shared with some of the other council people, but they weren't.
Yeah, I
So
would-
I was not aware that there were some other people that
We're
were.
gonna get your resume the next time I was. I just said
But,
that.
you know, that's where I was coming from, is
I
because
understand.
of the people.
Mr. Smith,
Would you
tell us
move
where
on
we
to
are.
let Chuck get-
You have a motion and a second on the floor to appoint Mr. Dean and Mr. Burris.
There is a
And
motion,
it's for discussion.
a motion on the floor for the 3-year term, as you see at the very top there, position, Mr. Burris in his present position to continue, and Mr. Owens, who doesn't wish to return, be replaced by Michael D. That's the motion, that's the second, that's the discussion, we're gonna vote, okay? All in favor of the motion, just raise your hand, please. 1, 2, 4, okay.
I didn't have any other
Opposed?
choice. It's the only thing they gave us.
Opposed? 3. It's 4-3, and, okay, we have 2 new members of the, beginning July 1, I guess, of the ABC.
Oh, he wanted to be on the ABC.
All
He
right.
could serve somewhere else.
Community, now, the next one, they're all interested in serving another term on the Community Development Citizens Advisory Board, 2-year term. Mr. Brown, Mr. Albert Moss, Reese Barnett, Scott Grigg, Melissa Terry, and Tim Bolton, which I appointed. And
I
they
move
all.
that the group be appointed.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Thank you. We need has anyone talked to anyone about the advisory boards at the farmers market? It's been vacant.
I can't hear you, Michael, Dan, get that.
Okay, there's one we'll go after, okay? Fireman's Relief Fund trustees, but Mary and John have, and it's in here, Chief Welch is, that they would like to, interested in serving another term. Is there a motion they be approved?
So
Motion.
moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay, so we've got community development, and we've got Fireman's Relief Fund, and Historic District Commission.
I have some, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so that's a little different. You and I talked about the
Okay, right.
position currently held by, well, it says Ms. Williams is interested in serving another term, and her attendance is good. Sumner and Howland do not wish to serve.
That's correct. So,
All right,
all right, Ms. Williams, John Howard's stepping down. He's
Yeah.
now the chairman.
yeah,
Ms. Williams is the vice chairman.
okay.
So I'd like to move that we reappoint Ms. Williams, and effective July 1, she'll also be the chairman.
All right. And
And can I throw in
I
there
was gonna
that,
say, you want this, Mother, go ahead.
yeah, and Wade White is on there now, make him the vice chairman.
He's already on there?
Yes,
Do we appoint the chairs?
Yes.
yes.
So,
I second.
so Wade could take another seat.
Ms. Williams will be the chairman effective July 1st, and then Wade will be the vice chairman.
Are we voting Wade back in, or is he?
No,
just-
he's already on there.
In other words, his is a different time. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Is
just
there anybody-
rotating. He just will be vice chairman.
Is there anybody taking Howard's place, is what the mayor?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do that.
Okay, Wade White is with
You
the
want a
vice chairman.
second
Okay,
on
we
that?
can put this all in one. Go ahead. Forward.
Sir?
Go ahead. Oh, you got anybody else?
Do you need did you make a motion for those chair and vice chair? Mrs.
Yes,
Williams
I did.
and,
Included
okay.
that in my motion with Ms. Williams, that she'd be the chair effective July 1, Wade White would be the vice
And I
chair.
second that.
Okay,
And the way I look at that is we just voted on one person there.
right.
Wade's already there,
Right.
except we give
Right,
him the
that's right.
title VP. Okay.
Yes.
Well, the motion is, let's vote on those two, on that, if we can. Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay. That's still 2 more.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I have, I put this at your desk. Thanks, Mr. Bill Blackwelder, retired.
Yeah.
He's lived in York Chester 13 years. He lives right near where Ernest Sumner lives. in the Forest Hills.
Uh-huh.
He is currently the membership chair for Yorkchester Association, Community Association. He was community watch chair. And he's had his home on the tour of homes twice. And I move that we appoint him. I put these on each person's.
Second.
Everybody should have gotten one.
He's ready to go, isn't
Yeah, he's gave me this.
he? Okay.
Second on
Okay.
Mr. McTiernan.
Discussion? All in favor? Raise your hand, please.
And, Mr. Mayor, I have somebody else that's interested, and I'll bring you the
Bring it
resume
back.
if you'll wait till next time.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
do the other one.
Sure, as long as you got them, you sniff them out there. I know you can add two to the plate.
Yes, sir, I have a name,
mean,
but
we
I
did.
can get a resume.
Okay, all right. Planning Commission,
Yes.
Ward 4.
You can skip mine. I do have somebody, and I'll bring the resumes in.
All right.
Believe it or not, I do have a resume, guys. So we're good.
Okay,
I do not plan to make mine tonight.
it says that Mr. Kaler, Mr. Bradshaw, and Mr. Long are interested in serving another term, and their attendance is good.
I'll hold on, Mr. Kaler, it's Ward 5, till next time.
Okay,
I want to talk to him.
all right. Is there a motion to approve Jack Bradshaw and Alec Long?
Motion,
Second.
Second, discussion. All in favor? Okay, so we did approve them. You're gonna get back next time. Okay, Recreation Advisory Board, Dr. Meakin and Mr. Attaway are interested in serving another term. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? All right. Residential Rental Property Review Board, 2-year term. Mr. Keller, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Giacobi, and Ms. McFarland are interested in serving another term, and their attendance is good. Okay. Yeah, yes, sir.
With regard to the city council appointment currently held by Rodney Parham,
Yeah.
who does not want to serve another term,
Uh-huh.
I would go ahead and nominate Mr. Mark McNeil, who was before you this evening. I distributed his resumes,
Oh, yeah.
and unfortunately, he was a little nervous and did not enunciate what particular board he was interested in.
I second that.
Could, since we only have one to replace, could your motion include Mr. McNeil as the council nominee and also the others to be reappointed?
That's fine.
Mark? Okay. That's good.
Mark McNeil. That way we can
Okay.
knock that whole thing out if nobody has objection.
Okay.
I would amend to reflect all the other nominees.
I would second that.
Okay. Any other discussion? 2-year term. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
You would reappoint Mr. Keller, and then Mr. Munn would
Yeah.
reappoint Ms. McFarland. So
Okay.
just a letter to that effect, from each respective office, Mr. Munn can do
Okay.
yours too, Mr.
All right. Votes.
No,
All right.
never heard of her.
Not like
The Tourism
She says her address is
Development
lower
Authority,
there.
3-year
Can
term,
we hold on?
currently held by J.D. Deeb and Devin Deva, and the Lodging Industry Representative, 2-year term, currently held by Ms. Bob Daisy.
So moved.
Make a motion to just put them and keep them.
Second, your
All right, all in favor? Okay. Zoning Board of Adjustment, 3-year terms, Mr. Dixon, Ms. Vega, and Bob Bigstaff are interested in serving another term. Their attendance is good. Is there a motion to
So
approve?
moved. Mr.
Is there
Mayor.
a second? Yes, sir.
I have somebody that's interested in serving. I know we're gonna do all those, but I don't have his resume. Could we hold on, VA, Martina?
Martine.
VACCA? Anyway, I know you're in a hurry, but.
I'm really not. I just move on.
It lists her address over here as Lowell. And,
Well, let's just see.
Board of Adjustment says, 101 West First Street, Lowell, North Carolina.
Yeah, it could be just a mailing address.
Yeah, but I think they ought to have a home address so we'll know where they live. So could we hold on that, if we can confirm that?
I think we
I've
should
got-
in
I've
that
got
case.
somebody else.
Can we do the other two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Dixon
absolutely.
Michael and
and
Bob.
Bob Biggerstaff?
Motion.
I make a motion for those two.
Second that.
All All right.
That's on Dixon and Biggerstaff,
Dixon.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor? Okay. I can't find it.
I'm gonna go bathroom again.
It just breaks my heart, Michael, you talking about that. I'm trying to get him off all these.
Porter, what was that? Where is that? Am I missing that sheet?
I saw it.
What are you looking for?
Where you saw the lady, VACA?
Yeah, it's a couple pages over where it lists everybody.
Right here,
Board of Adjustment.
right
Yeah,
here.
okay.
7-5.
7-5.
Excellent point. Yeah. That's the address, is first. Okay. I don't know that.
That's where she works.
Probably.
Oh, it's where she worked?
But you ought to have your home address.
Yeah.
Well. Okay, that's still two more.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I put this at your desk. Thanks, Mr. Bill Blackwelder, retired.
Yeah,
He's lived in Yorkchester for 13 years. He lives right near where Ernest Sumner lives, in Forest Hills. He is currently the membership chair for the Yorkchester Association, Community Association. He was community watch chair. And he's had his home on the tour of homes twice. And I move that we appoint him. I put these on each person's.
Second.
Should everybody should have gotten.
he's ready to go, isn't
Yeah, he's giving me this.
he? Okay.
Second on
Okay.
Mr. McTiernan.
Discussion? All in favor? Raise your hand, please.
And Mr. Mayor, I have somebody else that's interested, and I'll bring you the
Bring it
resume
back.
if you'll wait till next time.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
do the other one.
Sure, as long as you got them, you sniff them out there. I know you had two to replace.
Yes, sir, I have a name,
I mean,
but
we
I
did.
get a resume.
Okay, all right. Planning Commission,
Yes.
Ward 4.
You can skip mine. I do have somebody, and I'll bring the resumes in.
All right.
Believe it or not, I do have a resume, guys. So we're good.
Okay,
I do not plan to make mine tonight.
it says that Mr. Kaler, Mr. Bradshaw, and Mr. Long are interested in serving another term, and their attendance is good.
I'll hold on, Mr. Kaler, it's Ward 5, till next time.
Okay,
I want to talk to him.
all right. Is there a motion to approve Jack Bradshaw and Alec Long?
Motion.
Second.
Second, discussion? All in favor? Okay, so we did approve them. You're gonna get back next time. Okay, Recreation Advisory Board, Dr. Meakin and Mr. Attaway are interested in serving another term. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? All right. Residential Rental Property Review Board, 2-year term. Mr. Keller, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Giacobi, and Ms. McFarland are interested in serving another term, and their attendance is good. Okay. Yeah, yes, sir. Well, I
With
read-
regard to the city council appointment currently held by Rodney Parham,
Yeah.
who does not want to serve another term,
Uh-huh.
I would go ahead and nominate Mr. Mark McNeil, who was before you this evening. I distributed his resumes,
Oh, yeah.
and unfortunately, he was a little nervous and did not enunciate what particular board he was interested in.
I second that.
Could, since we only have one to replace, could your motion include Mr. McNeil as the council nominee and also the others to be reappointed?
That's fine.
Mark? Okay. That's good.
Mark McNeil. That way we can
Okay.
knock that whole thing out if nobody has objection.
Okay.
I would amend to reflect all the other nominees.
I would second that.
Okay. Any other discussion? 2-year term. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
You would reappoint Mr. Keller, and then Mr. Munn would
Yeah.
reappoint Ms. McFarland. So
Okay.
just a letter to that effect, from each respective office, Mr. Munn can do.
Okay.
There's two Mr.
All right. Vote.
No,
All right.
never heard of her.
Not like
The
this.
Tourism
She says her dress is
Development
lower
Authority,
there.
3-year term,
Hold on.
currently held by J.D. Deeb and Devin Deba, and the Lodging Industry Representative, 2-year term, currently held by Mr.
Mine
Bond,
doesn't work.
days in.
So moved.
Make a motion to just put them and keep them?
Second, Pure.
All right, all in favor? Okay. Zoning Board of Adjustment, 3-year terms, Mr. Dixon, Ms. Vega, and Bob Biggerstaff are interested in serving another term. Their attendance is good. Is there a motion to
Right.
approve?
So moved. Mr.
Is there a
Mayor.
second? Yes, sir.
I have somebody that's interested in serving. I know we're gonna do all those, but I don't have his resume. Could we hold on, VA, Martina?
Martine.
VACCA? Anyway, I know you're in a hurry, but.
I'm really not. I just move on.
It lists her address over here as Lowell. And,
Well, let's just see.
Board of Adjustment says, 101 West First Street, Lowell, North Carolina.
Yeah, it could be just a mailing.
Yeah, but I think they ought to have a home address, so we'll know where they live. So could we hold on that, and we can confirm that?
I think we
I've got-
should in
I've
that
got
case.
somebody else.
Can we do the other two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Dixon
absolutely.
Michael and
and
Bob.
Bob Biggerstaff?
Motion.
I make a motion for those two.
Second that.
All right.
That's on Dixon and Biggerstaff,
Dixon.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor? Okay. I can't find the one that's talking.
I can go back one again.
Huh?
I gotta go back one.
It just breaks my heart, Michael, like that, about that. I've tried to get him on for all these years.
Porter, what was that? Where is that? Am I missing that sheet?
I saw it.
What are you looking for?
Where you saw the lady, VACA?
Yeah, it's a couple pages over where it lists everybody.
Right here,
Board of Adjustment.
right here.
Yep. Okay.
7-5.
7-5.
Excellent point. Yeah. That's the address, is first. Okay. I don't know that.
That's where she works.
Probably.
Oh, it's where she works?
But you ought to have your home address in
Yeah.
there.
Well, don't say that, because Michael doesn't, so, which one? Correct.
Well, we know where he lives,
Yeah, okay.
Well, not everybody does.
not everybody.
All right, we're down to, okay, we know what we're gonna come back and do next meeting on those. The city attorney's report,
No report, Mr. Mayor.
city manager's report.
The only thing I'd like to add is the Grizzlies home opener is Saturday, May 24th, 6 o'clock. Other than that,
This
no-
Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday. Thank you.
All right. City council report, Ms. Gretchen.
The only report I have is that I did attend the Caramount Community Challenge 14 on Saturday out at Forest View, and Dr. Curlin probably has some more information on that because his Rotary Club helped sponsor that and what that money was going to be used for. And that's my report.
No report.
Doc?
I've been out of town for a week, so I don't have much to report, but when I get it all caught up together, I'll give you a report.
Yeah,
Two things. One, I just want to publicly thank the 3,513 people that have voted, conservatives that voted for me for county commission, even though I missed it by 224 votes. I just want to tell everyone out there, thank you very much. And it was a good showing. The other item is our website. I know they were saying that they're revamping this. Do you know when that's going to happen?
I'll get a report as to the status of it before the council.
All right, that's it.
The Caramount Community Health Challenge was on Saturday, and it was a combination of a 5K walk or run, as well as 2 different bicycle routes, 39 miles and 50 miles. Extremely well attended for the first year. It's going to be an annual thing. It was co-sponsored with Caramount as well as the Gastonia East Rotary, and the purpose for this was to raise funds for the Gaston County Schools robotics program. So the idea was to raise $15,000 towards the robotics program, which they did through the sponsorships they raised and all. So, but it was well attended, excellent weather. Everybody seemed to have joined themselves. There was just a lot going on that day, and another, hopefully this will be something similar to the Run for the Money, but more of a health-driven focus as compared to a nonprofit fundraising focus. So good things in the community, wonderful reasons to get out and get active and get healthy.
Kimball.
Thank you, Your Honor. Several items. First one, I attended a executive summit for the American Board of Certification in Homeland Security. One of the things that the association is really embracing is to be able to get our veterans and those that served us overseas back to work with some job skills. To that end, I was given a copy of a new school guide publication. It's the Veterans Education Guide. And it's actually filled with opportunities at colleges and levels of higher education for our veterans. And in the back, all they have to do is tear the card out and mail it away. I've requested that our city buy 10 of these and have them at City Hall. Additionally, I'm going to give a couple to former Commissioner Loftus, who works in the Veterans Affairs now, because I think this is an excellent opportunity in this vehicle of a lot of colleges, one unit, and just tear out the cards and mail them away. Secondly, my wife and I were very pleased to attend the NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race. As you all know, that both NASCAR and the Charlotte Motor Speedway very much really embrace the rich heritage of those that serve us and our veterans. And this year's new pin is the Salute to the Troops. And I was able to get you one, Mayor. Here's one for your lapel.
Thank you, sir.
And I'd like to present that to you.
Thank you.
On behalf of
Where?
NASCAR and Charlotte Motor Speedway.
That's
That's all I have, sir.
Well, it's ironic because I was there today with the runners down at the garden, Rotary Garden, and gave them all a Gastonia hat. And the guy was bald with a beard. He was my favorite. But they're here tonight till in the morning. But it was they came from Athens. They ran. I don't know where they've been running. But they're going from Atlanta to Washington, I think. But anyway, there'll be more in that.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I mentioned something, please?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
And my battery went out on this thing.
Yeah.
And indicated it's got a green light, but it won't work. The only board that we have that meets in the morning, which means a lot of people that work can't come to, is the Zoning Board of Adjustment. I wish this council would be thinking about it between now and next time, maybe put them at 6 at night, like the Planning Commission meets, like the Historic District Commission meets, like everybody else meets, like we meet. And when they meet in the morning, it means somebody that's going to come before them has to get off work or whatever or something. I'd like to see if we couldn't, if everybody would not make a decision tonight, but consider moving that till 6 o'clock at night, something like that. That's all I'm asking you, just consider that between now and next time.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Exactly. Okay, the other thing was, and I'm not going to go, there were several greetings at several places that I want to. This is a letter to y'all and to me. Thank you. This is from Chief Welch. Thank you all very much for allowing Captain Kelly and I to visit Goda. It was a wonderful experience. That's from Phil. Anything else? He just left. Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm sorry it's 4 hours, 6 to 10 or more, but we got it done. So, thank you all very much. Move, we adjourn. We're going to.